Welcome to Epic Thread Tales, where I read your posts and comment on them.
Am I the asshole for canceling on my friend as soon as she showed up? My friend is chronically late and a flake. She blames it on ADHD, but I know it's because she just doesn't give a shit about being on time, and because she always keeps her options open for a more appealing activity, even after making firm plans. She doesn't even apologize when she shows up late. The only apology anyone ever gets is when she's a complete no-call, no-show, and even then it's half-hearted. I've been putting up with this because she really is great when she finally shows up, but my patience has been wearing thin. A couple weeks ago, she hosted a V-Day brunch. It was also her birthday, and picked a place that would 100% give your table away if you didn't arrive on time with your full party. Everyone else got there a little early to be safe, including her. I was honestly shocked. And when we all got seated, I let her know that I was gonna go ahead and cancel the upcoming dinner that we had planned, since this was the last straw for me. She just showed everyone that she was perfectly capable of being on time when it was her thing on the line, so I wasn't going to put up with her chronic lateness anymore. And I was happy to still have a casual hangout with her, but this would be the last time I was going to do anything with her that required showing up at a specific time. I said that in front of everyone, and in the words of the great Tim Robinson, nobody said shit, dude. Nobody said shit. She brushed it off, yelled at me after, but brushed it off in the moment, and we all had a nice brunch. And I guess our other friends felt the same way, because no one has planned any kind of lunch meetup, or movie, or anything with a specific start time with her since. And now today is when our planned dinner was gonna be, and she asked if we were still on for it, and I said no. I felt like I was pretty clear before. We can hang out when you get off work, but I'm not waiting around for you anymore. She is irate and even saying I'm being ableist towards her. It feels bad because she's clearly hurt, but I'm also tired of feeling hurt and embarrassed, waiting for her to show up all the time.
OP, you aren't the asshole. She doesn't consider you important enough to be on time. And it's obvious your other friends feel the same way, but can't say it. I kinda have to give you a 0.5 out of 5 assholes OP, just because you could have confronted her in private. I'm giving her 2 out of 5 assholes.
Am I the asshole for asking my niece to stop speaking French around my dyslexic wife? My wife, 28F, Sarah, and I, M30, have been married for 5 years. She's incredible, loving, and my favorite person in the world. Now, my entire family has tradition of learning and speaking French. It's always been a fun way for us to bond. However, for Sarah, it's been a bit of a challenge. Sarah has tried for years to pick up the language, but due to her dyslexia, she's found it extremely difficult. It's been a great source of frustration and insecurity for her, especially when we're around my family who like to speak French with each other. My niece, 17F, Eva, is staying with us for a while. She speaks English and French too, and understandably speaks a lot of French around the house. While I understand it's just a normal thing for her, it's been a bit upsetting for Sarah. She feels excluded from our conversations, and she started trying to brush up on it, but it's just stressing her out and hitting a nerve. Given the situation, I approached Eva and asked if she could try to speak more English around my wife. I explained that it wasn't about controlling her choices, but about helping Sarah feel more comfortable and included in conversations. Unfortunately, Eva didn't take it well. She accused me of prioritizing Sarah's difficulties over her comfort and claimed that I was asking her to suppress her identity. I'm not sure if I handled it the right way. Am I the asshole for asking Eva to stop speaking French around Sarah?
OP, after reading the comments, it seems like you aren't French, it's just a hobby of sorts. So you aren't making her suppress her identity. OP, you get a solid 0 out of 5 assholes. Your niece gets 2 out of 5 assholes.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that my friend is a lesbian? Okay, so we have been happily married for 4 years. We were friends in college before we got together romantically. During our college years, I had a broader group of friends that I hung out with in addition to a smaller group, which my husband was a part of. The girl in question, let's call her Lena, was part of the broader group, and at the time my husband was interested in her. He asked me about her status, and I lied and told him that she was a lesbian, because at that point I knew that I wanted to be more than friends with him, and I knew that if Lena was in the picture, then things would be more complicated. I knew that telling him that she was a lesbian would stop him from pursuing her. Fast forward to now, my husband found out that Lena is in fact not a lesbian. At first, he kind of ribbed me about how wrong I was about her, since I tend to pride myself on being able to understand people well. I told him that I knew she was straight, and just told him that to stop him from pursuing her. I thought he would take this to have been a romantic or a cute thing, but he was quite shocked at the revelation. He kind of went quiet when I told him this, and then later told me that he felt betrayed and that it was a fucked up thing to have done. I told him that it worked out well in the end, as we have a happy life together, and that even if he had pursued her, it might have not worked out. But he still thinks that I was the asshole for not giving him the chance to decide on the course of action he wanted to take back then. I just feel like this needs to be let go, since I was just trying to save him for me, and I didn't really mean any harm. Plus, we have a great life now. Am I the asshole?
Yes, OP, you are the asshole, and actually, you are my first asshole. OP, you manipulated your husband to benefit you. You played it off as something small. You didn't even feel the need to apologize for your actions. OP, you said you didn't mean any harm, but you did. You harmed your husband and friend's chances to your advantage. You could have just told him you were into him, instead of lying to him. OP, I'm giving you 4 out of 5 assholes. I'm giving your husband 0 out of 5 assholes. Frankly, OP, he should cut you loose.
Am I the asshole for telling my kids that I won't be lonely for the rest of my life, and if they don't come to my wedding, you clearly don't give a shit about my happiness? Everyone is an adult. My husband has been officially dead for 3 years. He might as well have been dead for a few years already, though. He was declining for a long time and was basically a vegetable for 3 years until he passed. I was the one that took care of him until he went to a high care facility. In all honesty, I already started the mourning process years before he died. So when he did die, I already accepted it. I started to date right after his death, and I met a very nice guy. We have been together for a while, and he proposed to me. He is also a widow. I'll call him Tim. Tim is a great guy, and my kids hate him. He has done nothing to make them hate him. The worst he has done the whole time was go on a rant about planes. My kids hate his guts. They really hate that I am moving on. I have discussed this before with them, and it boils down to I am replacing their father. All I ask is for them to be polite to him. He doesn't deserve their hate. He proposed, and I said yes. I informed the kids at a family dinner that I am getting remarried. They blew up, and it started an argument. 2 said they will not come to my wedding on principle of the whole thing. I informed my kids I won't be lonely for my whole life, and if they don't come to my wedding, they clearly don't give a shit about my happiness. They called me a jerk, and I want an outside opinion.
OP, I can't give you an asshole score, but I would say, just because you've done grieving doesn't mean they have. It might be best for you to hold off on getting married and try to get your kids to understand. I think what the kids are angry about is the fact that you started dating right after your husband passed away. And I can completely understand why it would feel like you're replacing your husband to them. But if you help them understand that you had already started grieving after seeing your husband in that state, it could improve things. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 assholes. I'm giving your kids 1 out of 5 assholes. That was, Am I the Asshole? If you want to see more, come back tomorrow at the same time. Or choose one of the other videos to watch.